Yo, what's good? 100 line. Last stream ever from me. I think this is part... Shit, I think it's like part 30, 31, somewhere like that. We finished the game last time. Now all that's left is giving my thoughts. Let me take out my notes. I don't know if you wanna see my notes. I might pull them up, hold up. I might pull them up. Welcome to my notes. This is me taking notes of this game. Okay. Let me talk about the game first before we get into 3 tier lists I want to make. And I have some thoughts on those topics too, but I want to talk about general things first. I mean, if you want a TLDR, this game's fantastic. This seemed like a game exactly for me, bro. And it is. But yeah, talking to my notes, this is like the routes I did in order. SF and Mystery are kinda weird because they're locked, but like I started those routes in this order. So my very first route was Killing Game. And technically the very last one was the Reset route. This right here is just... I don't know, I thought maybe it would be useful. The commanders... The numbers mean... what squad they're in. I think Dalchar actually is 0. He doesn't have a squad. Like, I thought this would be relevant. Turns out it wasn't. You could also get this information from the credits, but I always skip the credits, so... But like, some relationships in here. Adamercu loves Pekron. Muvrum is the son of Dalchar. Ava is the sister of Veshnes. Zanshin and Valagazo are like husband and wife. Yeah. And then I wrote down basically what I did every time. And when I got a choice... Let's see. West 5. Every time I got a choice, like here, I did not end up saving Darumi, and then I put a 5 next to it. That was the 5th choice I made. And then whenever I go back to that choice, I refer to it with the same number, 5. I saved Darumi. Shit like that. But yeah, this goes all the way, bro. It's 57,619 characters. Was this necessary? Not really. It did kinda help me stay on top of things. I don't think I like forgot pretty much anything. Just writing stuff down Like, helps you really get it into your mind. But yeah, some things I noticed, like, overall this game is fantastic, right? But there are some things that kinda annoy me. And that is like things that seemed pretty important but never got explained, never showed up again. Let's see if I find like anything. Kako, 3, got treated and taken by a woman in a white coat. This woman in a white coat was mentioned in the SF route twice. I wonder if I have it written down the other time too. School just fucking exploded. You know, I'm a journalist. School just fucking exploded. Absolute cinema. I'm a journalist. Like this woman in a white coat. I wonder if I can find it, but got the material and some kind of blueprints from a lady. This is the same lady. This is the woman in the white coat. She got mentioned twice in this route. Who is she? I have no fucking clue. She never showed up. She never got a name. I have no idea what her deal is. So that annoyed me. Other thing that annoyed me was the old man. I called him Grandpa in my notes. Grandpa, he shows up like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, about 4 times. He shows up like 4 times. And he has some insane knowledge. Like, he knows a lot of stuff about things that go on in this game. But who he is and why he knows that shit, I have no clue. And that again kinda annoys me. Siri mentioned every time the announcement is 78, it mentioned that 78 is a special number. I have no clue why. The only thing I know with 78 is the planet's name, but it's 787, so. I'll handle Ato myself. I failed and Ato got away with the boxes. Cinema. Yeah, the grandpa, the lady. What else was like really weird that I wish they... Yeah, it's grandpa. Grandpa told me that. Where is it? Grandpa says, long ago, God created brethren of the blood. But then evildoers from a distant land created copies and God was mad and cursed the copies with the time loop. There's a lot of things that rub me the wrong way in this. First of all, God. God is like mentioned a lot by the commanders, by Veshness and shit. And it's obviously important to the Futurans, their religion. And he presumably gave the commanders their blood, their cryptoglobin. But he has never been like... Never delved deeper. Does he really exist? Does he not? I mean... Okay. Apparently this so-called god, which may or may not exist, created Brethren of the Blood. Presumably it's like a group of people with cryptoglobin. Are those the commanders, the Brethren of the Blood? Maybe. Evildoers from a distant land, aka humanity, created copies. I mean, this is true. We know that the 14 out of the 15 main characters are clones of Shion specifically. So is Shion a Brethren of the Blood? We do know that that humanity stole Shion and created copies. And God was mad about that. Apparently, so he exists. He was mad. And he cursed the copies with the time loop. Okay, but in the game, the only two characters, presumably, that have the time loop are Takumi and Hiroko. But those two are not special. They are not like special from the other people. They're all copies of the same person. So why are not the other ones in the time loop? Or maybe they are, but they don't remember. I don't know, man. I think everything that has to do with SF is just kinda weird, man. Like, again, like this one. There's a researcher who knows about the time loop. How? First of all, how? If humans created copies, and those copies get hit with the time loop, how does a presumably futuran researcher know about it? Noriro Inone. He was... I have no idea who this is. Like, I thought maybe this could be Grandpa, Noriro Inone. But we got this information from Grandpa. I don't know if he would talk about himself like that. Stuff with the, like, particle bacteria or something. I need a new song. Hold up. Give me the rock version. Stuff about like particle bacteria, QB liquid. That shit is dumb as fuck. But that's only in Mystery and SF, and those were written by Uchikoshi, and Uchikoshi, he does dumb shit, bro. So I don't know if I should like take anything Uchikoshi wrote as like a thing that exists. But then Red Snom has his own route. Red Snom. And he got his own archive entry. So I thought he would be pretty important, like a being that can theoretically revive people. Seems pretty important to me, but I don't know. Never brought up again. That's like stuff I don't like about this game, that some of those routes feel very disconnected from the main objective of this game. I like when in a game like this, that has multiple routes, I like when I do a route and I get like drip fed some information at the end of the route, or like in the middle, that involves the main plot. And then everything culminates into a true ending, where I need all that information, you know? So stuff like Red Snom, which obviously is just monster backwards, it's like, I thought maybe he shows up again, the Ruby Tears. I don't know, man, but it just doesn't matter. It just apparently does not matter. Let me go back up, bro. Let me go from a start. Let me just skim through. Maybe I find something that annoys me about this game, but overall, I'm just gonna critique stuff that annoyed me, because it seemed important but wasn't. But like, don't take that as like that I dislike the game. I fucking love this game. I think the way that it is structured is not personally my preference. Like I said, I like visual novels with multiple routes that all culminate into a true route, where I get like information from every route, or I like a visual novel with no routes, you know? Just a clear, it has a story to tell, clear beginning, middle, end. Those are the two I liked. So this is obviously like a bit out of my comfort zone, but okay. I mean, that's a good point. In the multiple Atos route, the reason why Ato got into my mind apparently was because I absorbed him twice in a row, like pretty quickly. Which, I mean, is a fair explanation. But then why, when I kill Ato at the very beginning of the timeline, then why am I not fucked there, you know? Yugamu tried, like, getting Ato out of me. Like, I channel him from time to time, like, yeah, like I called it. But let's talk about the sponsor. Sponsor. So the very first sponsor was Kakuji. But there were multiple bodies, so obviously it can't just be Kakuji alone. So it must be corpses. But where did they find the corpses? Probably from invaders, right? Yeah. So maybe Kakuji started it. And then she got multiple bodies through the invaders we hunted. Maybe. But why does Kakuji, or like the sponsor in general of this game, Ato does it too at the end, why can they control these bees? The bees are only in this route. It's like cryptoglobin sucking bees. Are those from the Gi planet? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, it's weird. Killing game road's a weird one. Actually, it was me. Moko killed me. Didn't even write the ending. Yeah, all this top part of the timeline all relates to like SF, GI, shit like that. Talked to Gakko about Yuri for 10 days. I think that's like the big points that annoyed me. It's mainly those two characters that seem pretty important but never brought up again. I think I want more about Al-Shah too. There was also a visitor who saved Hiroko on day 16. Yeah, that's Hiroko from the SF timeline, which I now know. I chose the zombie. We got chased by the killer and split up. I got sliced up by Yogamu? Question mark? No. Now I know that was the very last ending I did. That was Takumi from the SF timeline. And the Gi infested Takumi in this timeline killed Takumi from the SF timeline. Basically faking his own death. Yeah, what else there? Oh, Takemaru's wrong. I wrote him. I misspelled him. Box of Blessings. Yeah, that shit annoyed me. Box of Blessings. I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about the routes. When I rank the routes. I kissed her foot instead. How old is actually Shion? He's still like a baby, his actual body, but FB's fucking dead. Okay, no, I thought of something. Okay, but we can talk about it later. That has to do with roads. I think that's it. I think that's it with like my main like red herring gripes, you could call it. It's like a few. Whatever. Next song. What's this? I mean, let's do this one. But let me get this version. Because now we're gonna talk about characters. Let's do some tier lists. Talk about my main gripes. Story-wise. Let's talk about characters. And first, let's talk about... That's why I put this music on. Let's talk about combat. Combat in this game, in general, is pretty bad. I think it's pretty bad. I think the longer it goes, the worse it gets. At the beginning, it's pretty good, I'd say. It's like it almost feels like a puzzle game. Instead of like a tower defense game where you have like your resources, which is AP, And you try to kill as many people. It's like Into the Breach if you played Into the Breach. You try to kill them as efficiently as possible. With your AP, elite enemies, I'll just call them. I can put those notes down. Elite enemies. Give AP back. So, I was not the biggest fan of combat. I think it has some high points, but I think it doesn't scale very well into the late game. And that's what we're gonna talk about here. I'm gonna rank these characters, the main 16. So everything up to Ava. Obviously the other ones don't fight. In terms of combat. And in terms of combat, I mean endgame combat. Shit where I have everything maxed out. Because let's be real, you get maxed out characters pretty soon. Like I had almost 1 million BP left at the end of the game. I'm not gonna mention their early game performance. Because some unless it varies from their late game performance. Because some characters are like pretty good early game but fall off hard, or they're pretty bad early game but get better with resources. So how do I do this? Do I want to just put characters on there and talk about them? Or do I want to like go systematically from worst to best? I think I just put some on there. Put some on there that I think are interesting to talk about first. Let's talk about Gaku. Gaku over here. This is a character that varies from early to late game. I think his early game performance is horrible. Gaku's passive is very bad. It is like a conditional +1 attack where you need 100 voltage to get a +1 attack. Every other character that has an attack buff as their passive, almost every character that has an attack buff as their passive has more than +1 on it. So having a conditional +1 attack as your passive is pretty bad. His skill in the early game also only does 1 damage. So with his passive he does 2 damage, and then with an attack potion in the early game he does 3 damage. Which is not that much. The big breakpoints in this game in terms of damage are 2, 4 and 6. I'd say. So getting to 2 attack with his skill is like fine. It's like pretty good. But like that's about that. His other skills are like very bad. Buffs in this game, buff skills in the late game are completely worthless. Worthless. Absolutely fucking worthless. Because buff skills do not stack with attack potions. But an attack potion doesn't consume AP. And a late game attack potion gives +2 attack, and like this, I don't think there's a buff that gives more than +2 attack. But Gaku in the late game, this is where I rank him. In the late game he's pretty good actually. His main role is clearing a big group of enemies with his main skill. But if you max him out, his skill does 2 damage by default. If you give him an attack potion then, a maxed out attack potion, he does 4 damage, which is the big breakpoint. If you attack boost him, you get another damage. So his like big AoE skill is actually very good at clearing out a group of elite enemies in the late game. His ult, his other two skills are worthless. I'm just not gonna mention them. One is like this buff spell, which I already talked about, is worthless. And the other one is like a straight line shot. I think it does 1 more damage, so it does 3 damage on this default. And it heals him by 1. Like, I guess it's worthless. His main skill is the only skill you need on him. His ult has the same like range and everything as Kyoshika ult. They have the same ult basically. Which is like this weird checkered board thing. It's okay. His ult's okay. It's not great. But I do think his main skill is like in the late game is so strong with attack potions and shit like that he at least deserves like a B tier, I think. Combat wise in late game. Okay, let's go. Next one. Takemaru. Takemaru, late game wise, he's like a pretty balanced character overall. All of his skills have like their uses. It's not like where Gaku is a one skill wonder. Takemaru's base spell does 2 damage all around him. It's pretty good for clearing trash mobs. His second spell is like this U shape. And it does 3 damage, I think. With an attack potion it does 5, or with a buff it does 4, which is a big breakpoint. With attack boost buff. And his other spell is this like pretty bad range, but it does 4 damage. And 4 damage, natural 4 damage is good. So his skills overall are like pretty solid, right? I think in terms of skills, he's definitely a B tier character. But Takemaru has 2 glaring issues. First of all, his ult is absolute dog water trash. It hits around him, same as his base skill. But then it also hits like in this 1 tile line. It's like very bad. I don't think it's the worst ult in the game, but it's very bad. Even if you invest into him, the range is just not desirable. Like Kako's ult has a better... It's almost the same, you know? But just better. So his ult is very bad, and the other thing that's very bad about him is his passive. This game does not feel like I play versus enemies, you know? It plays like I'm in control the whole time. So passive that's defensive in nature just doesn't really make sense. He's supposed to be this character. He has pretty good movement, and then per movement he gets armor. He's supposed to get in there, tank some hits. I think that's what the devs intended, but the game in the late game doesn't play like that. The game is just, I fucking kill everything in 1 turn, or I'm a failure to society. So having a defensive passive, where other characters can get strong damage from the passive, it's just very bad. So his ult and his passives are so bad that I think he's a C tier character in combat. His skills overall are pretty good with good damage values, but Man, they did him dirty. I kinda wish... I think this would have been a cool game design. If Takemaru had a skill, or his ult, that scaled off of armor. Then his passive would instantly be better, because it can be used offensively, but... They didn't wanna do that. Next song. I went out of the... They didn't wanna do that. Which makes me sad, because I love Takemaru, but combat-wise he's just okay. I think C-tier characters still have some use. But when we are putting some characters in D-tier, I think there are, like, no redeeming factors. Let's put just an easy S tier. Let's put Takumi. Takumi is very good. Like, very good. He's the most consistent party member in terms of raw damage output. His skills are, like, pretty good. His best skill, I think, is Air Blade, which has, like, this huge... Hold up. I have an idea. That's how you know I mean serious business. Hold up. What the fuck's going on here, bro? What the hell? Hold up. I kinda wanna visualize shit. So it's like easier to tell what I'm talking about. Does this work? This does work. Watch my pain skills. So this is Takumi, right? And this air blade hits in like this shape, yeah, kinda like a blade. And it's like so good. Like the range of it is absolutely disgusting. This Takumi, right? It hits for 2 damage, maxed out, which I said as a big breakpoint. With an attack potion it deals 4 damage. It has natural flight +2. Like, it's a crazy spell. Like, compare this to... We have not ranked her yet, but... Visualize this, bro. This is Moko. And Moko spell... It's like this. You see the fucking difference? It has... This air blade just has so much more range. Moko spell does 1 more damage. Like this has natural flight +2 with 2 damage. And Moko's has 3 damage. Now tell me which spell is better. Attack potion gives... So flight +2 with 2 damage naturally means he one-shots the flying elites. The UFO elites. And with an attack potion he does 4 damage. Which is the big breakpoint. Moko with an attack potion does 5 damage. Which doesn't fucking matter. Like, the difference between 4 and 5... Like, it actually doesn't matter. 6 would be another breakpoint, but... Like, the fact that Airblade is like that Like, that's only one spell I have, man, on him. Impact Step is like fine. It's like his most damaging. It does 3 damage. No, it does 4 damage. It does 4 damage. And it goes through armor. And the side slash is fine. It does 3 damage, which is not a great number, but he has the strongest ult of the game. His passive is turbo broken with desperation potions. He's just the most consistent member in terms of combat. Let's talk about Moko then, because I used her as an example. Moko's spell. So Moko has a buff, which is worthless, because it's a buff. Moko Mania. The buff is actually really insane if you think about it. Like, Moko's buff is the best buff in the game. It adds attack, it adds armor, and it gives her reflect. And it's still not enough to make it worth the AP. Instead of the buff, just use an attack potion, bro, and you have the same shit. The armor and the reflect doesn't matter. Moko struggles from her passive and her ult. She's very similar to Takemaru on that point. Her passive is the same as Shoma's. She gets +1 attack for each hit she took last round. Unlike Shoma, she doesn't have any way of like forcing hits on her. She's also smaller than Shoma, so in theory she can get less hits in from an enemy. Her main spell does 3 damage, which is an awkward number. With an attack potion does 5, so it kills most elites. Her Moko Shooter, I think is the name. The drop kick. It's like one of the strongest single target spells in this game. I think it does natural 7 damage, which is insane. But it also stuns her, so. Her ult is Dog Water. I think it's one of the worst. It hits like in the small area around her. Like barely useful, this ult. But she has a surprisingly good movement stat. Like, she moves fast. Like some other characters like Hiroko are pretty slow. They don't move a lot. But Moko actually moves quite a bit. And with a boost or an attack potion, her main skill is like good. So I would put her probably under Takemaru, like that. I think with a better ult, or like a passive that she could use. Like, how many times does my Moko get hit? Like, even if I put her in the enemy in the enemy lines, it doesn't matter, bro. I kill every enemy in one turn. So why would I waste a turn letting the enemies attack? I could just kill him. Just kill him. Let's put... Let me think of an A tier character. Let's put Yugamu. Yugamu has some great things going for him. He has a +2 attack on his passive. It's a bit conditional, but not really. The enemy needs to be debuffed, but every single one of his spells debuffs. So he has a debuff spell, like a dedicated debuff spell. Some other ones also have a dedicated debuff spell, but his is by far the best. Fatal Contagion is a low-key broken spell. If this game was like any hard, like any difficulty, Yugamo would shoot up to S tier. Because of Fatal Contagion. That spell is ridiculous. It adds -3 attack and -4 movement or something on this huge area. His main skill does 2 damage, I think. It hits like a pretty good area in front of him. And adds, I think, minus attack, which is good because some enemies can't be bled or something. But every enemy can be like minus attacked. So it's like a sure way to apply a debuff to them and deal some damage. His Viper skill, Sacrificial Viper I think it's called, does 3 damage. It adds bleed. It's like pretty solid. 3 damage is awkward. With a debuff it does 5, which is another awkward number, but he can deal out some pretty good damage. His ult is like pretty good range in front of him. I think it's the same range as Fatal Contagion. So he's overall very solid. Fatal Contagion is low-key broken, but you don't really need it, which is a shame. If at some point people are modding this game, I don't know why they would, man. I think I'm the only one who cares about combat. Everyone's like, my story. No. Next song. No. I care about combat. And if the game would be hard, if there would be like a hard mod or something, I think Yugamo would shoot up to S tier. Because Fatal Contagion is this insane crowd control move that you don't really need in the actual game. It's a shame, but what can you do? Let's talk about Shoma. Shoma is a tank in a game where just running in and killing everything in one turn is the strat. And I think that sums it up perfectly. He doesn't have a role. His main strat, the way the devs intended it, was go in, taunt a lot of enemies, maybe use defense mode to reflect, and then use Omega Punch with his passive, that's the same as Moko, to do some damage in the end. But in the late game, you don't need a tank, you don't need him. He doesn't really provide anything. If his aggression I think it's aggression signal, his taunt would do 1 damage instead of 0, I think that would be great. It could have been broken, but defense mode is a horrible move. It's way worse than Mokomania. And you should never use defense mode. I'd rather spend 100 voltage on Counter-Strike on him than use defense mode. Omega Punch is Omega shit. It hits this 4-tile square in front of him, which is not great range. He doesn't have the best movement with it, and it stuns him. The damage can theoretically go pretty high, but it's still not worth it. Like, think about it. I think Omega Punch does 2 damage naturally. So it's a 2 damage spell that stuns him. But theoretically, Shoma is 2x2 big. I think the devs intended, okay, I'll take 8 hits in that round. And then Omega Punch does 10 damage. Oh my god, broken. It's time to bust out the paint. It's time to bust out the paint again. And show why Shoma doesn't work. Okay. This right here is Shoma, yeah? And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces where he could be attacked from. And there's a bunch of invaders. Like here, that's an invader, that's an invader, that's an invader, yeah? So you go in and taunt them. Thinking, okay, I get 8 hits from here, no problem. No, that doesn't work, because normally what happens when it's the invader's turn, they move first and then they attack. But when you taunt them, these enemies in front, they don't go this way and attack him from this side. This doesn't happen. What this invader does is go here and attack him from this side. Which means the invaders that are further away, this is like the furthest spot they would reach, but they can't anymore because it's blocked. So what happens is, in this scenario when Shoma would taunt, he would maybe get like 4 invaders with this. Because they keep blocking each other. It makes it so fucking horrible. This taunt just doesn't work, man. It's just not coded properly, man. I will say though, Shoma's ult is very good. It is a low base damage, gigantic laser, with like, I think it does 3 tiles in front of him, like this huge laser, 3 tiles wide laser, and it basically clears an entire map if you have his passive stacked up, or let's say you invest in him. Let's just assume you invest into every of these characters. Let's say you have 10 commander kills on Shoma. What you could do is, basically what I do every time on Kako is Desperation Potion, Spring Trap him to the side of the enemies, and then nuke this entire lane. In theory, it's insane, but I think Shoma's too tall for some maps. If he was not 2x2 but 1x1, I think his ult would be really insane, but sometimes doesn't fit in some maps on the side, but yeah. Whatever. Shoma just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Next. Let's talk about Ato. Ato is a pretty consistent DPS character. With some great damage numbers. His main spell, Judge, is like kinda like Hiroko's. Hiroko's spell that has the same range as Judge does 2 damage, but Judge does 4 damage. Naturally. He also moves further than Hiroko. Jury is like this very unique shape. It's like this X shape. I think it does 3 damage with flight +2. And Executioner is a basic single target spell. That's good for nuking bosses. It applies bleed, I think. Doesn't really matter. His passive is... His passive is not good. And I think that's the worst thing about him. His passive is basically, he has 3, every time he takes an action, he rolls 1 of 3 things. Either, the worst thing, he gets an armor. Which doesn't fucking matter. Then, the second thing, he cures his fatigue. Which can be pretty useful. Most of the time it's not very useful though. And the last thing that you really want is attack +1. The problem is, it doesn't stack. So if you get attack plus... Let's say you use him for a boss kill. If you get attack +1, and then you attack the boss again, and you roll attack +1 again, it doesn't stack. If that would stack, I think Aether would be insane. But it doesn't. It doesn't. His ult is like... I think it's a bit bigger than Yugamo's ult. It's this huge range. It's a very good ult. It's like pretty similar to Takumi, but with less damage. He's very good in the intercept system fight because of Jury. Jury hits 2 missiles at once. I think he's just a very reliable teammate. I would rate him over Yugamo. I think he's better combat-wise than Yugamo. I think the gap between him and Takumi is a bit bigger than this. But, yeah, he's very good. He's just very consistent, which is funny because his passive is all RNG. But if you have him, you don't have him for a lot of fights, which sucks. But if you have him, he's usually pretty good. I'll be right back. I have to do something real quick. Okay, bro, we need to hurry up. How am I at 1 hour stream with not even 1 tier list done? Move the fuck on, bro. Let's get Hiroko. Hiroko is very strong. Her main skill does 5 damage, naturally. It's basically the same as Executioner. She's very similar to Ato if you think about it. Her main skill does 5 damage in front of her. She has a 3 white tile hit like Ato. It's a bit weaker. And by a bit I mean it's a lot weaker. Ato's does 4 damage, hers does 2. And she has a spell called Life or Death Shot, which is just 2 tiles in front of her, heals her by 1. That one's not very good. I think Jury from Ato, the X one, is just better. But. Her passive is turbo broken. It's a passive that gives her +3 attack. Max. She gets +1 attack for every enemy she killed during a turn. With max of +3. +3 attack is insane. With +3 attack, her spell that's similar to Ato's does suddenly 5 damage instead of 2. And you put an attack potion on her and does 7 damage. And her raw damage output is just crazy good. She is incredibly slow though. She doesn't move. You need to pump her full of agility potions or spring traps. But you get rewarded with probably the best boss killer in this game. But she kind of sucks against normal enemies. Except like the big elites with like 12 health. Because that's basically a mini boss. Her ult is kind of similar to Moko's ult, but just the range is way bigger. I don't know what they thought about Moko's ult, bro. I don't know what they were thinking, man. Hiroko's ult is basically the same, but just bigger. I think she, just for a boss killing alone, she's definitely an SD character. I think she goes here. I think Ato's better at clearing normal mobs than she, but she's better at killing bosses than him. His ult is better than hers, but her passive is better than his. You know, they're pretty similar all in all. Let's go with Darumi, now that it's here. Darumi is weird. She's similar to Gaku, that she basically only has 1 spell because the other 2 are worthless. She has this like, her passive is like a stance swap, kinda. Where whenever she's fatigued, her skills change into like another form. Which is, I mean, like, it's kinda cool in theory, but the execution is just not good. I think they don't change enough. They just get +1 damage. She has a debuff spell that's absolute dog water. Like, compared to Fatal Contagion, it's a joke how better debuff spell is. And she has a spell that hits in front of her and heals her, I think. Similar to Gaku. Which I already talked about, that spell is worthless. Her main gimmick is if you invest into her with commander kills. Her ult is pretty good. I think it's the same as Yugamu's, range-wise. But her main gimmick is that she gains a lot of voltage. Is that a good enough gimmick to have? I don't think so in the late game. In the early game definitely, but in the late game not. spell does, I think, 2 damage with flight +2 in an X shape. And then when you're fatigued, it does 3 damage with flight +2. Which I don't think, like, gets her, like, any niche. Her passive's bad, her ult's good. Her voltage gain is good in the early game, but sucks late game, because in late game, just use a desperation potion, bro. Just kill one of your allies. Come on, just kill him. I think she's a D tier character, combat-wise. I think she blows. Instead of using her spell, I'd rather use Air Blade. Voltage gain, who the fuck cares when I can just use a desperation potion last stand. Passive doesn't contribute anything meaningful. I think she's better than Shoma, but that's about it. Let's talk about Kurara. Kurara has an issue, and that issue is called this game. She is not made for this game. She's a turret defense character in a game where offense is the best defense. In the her early game performance is pretty good because her spells don't need to be leveled up. You need to put 1 point in each spell and she's good to go for the rest of the game. Leveling her spells does nothing, basically. Leveling her turret does nothing, bro. Leveling her shovel strike does nothing. It goes from 2 damage to 3, which doesn't matter, because I told you, the breakpoints are 2, 4, and 6. 3 damage doesn't cut it, bro. The turret goes from 2 damage to 3 damage. It doesn't matter. Her passive is very bad. Every time she does an action, she heals a structure nearby. Either a turret or the defense generator. If you need to heal your defense generator, then you're already doing something wrong. And healing your turret, like, why the fuck would that matter? Normally you place a turret and then place a fence in front of it. So your turret's already protected. And instead of healing your turret, if your turret just dies, you can place a new turret for 1 AP. Instead of healing it. I need some happy music, bro. Kurara's making me mad. You can just place a new turret. Her shield turret doesn't matter in this game. If this game had a hard mode mod where, like, I get swarmed by enemies, even then I don't know if I would place that shield turret. Because dying in this game is just so good. You don't want to live. Like, why would you shield yourself, man? Her ult also, oh my god, her ult is by far the worst in the game, bro. Which is a shame, because it's the most unique ult in the game. Basically all other ults are just do damage in a certain formation. But hers plays like these 3 Kurara bombs, and triggering them is just so awkward, bro. The enemy has to attack them themselves. I think a bomb does 3 damage naturally. And if you place them right, you can hit the boss with all 3 bombs. And then you think about it, you give Kurara 10 command absorptions, so a bomb does 13 damage each. So her ult technically, with 10 command absorptions, deals 39 damage. Which is insane, but it just doesn't work, bro. I think what they should should have made is, because I tested it, if an enemy counters like Ava, the counter attack should trigger the bombs. But it doesn't. I don't know why, man. Kurara has nothing going for her. Her okay. It's gonna lead me into the next character. Her Shovel Strike does 2 damage, 3 when maxed out, and stuns 2 tiles in front of her. Which is worthless, because Nozomi's Paralyzed Bullet does the same thing, but on range and has flight +2. Like, what the fuck are they thinking, bro? So Nozomi has lowest HP out of everybody. She has a buff spell, which doesn't matter, because I already told you buff spells are worthless. Paralyzed Bullet, which is good against flying units, otherwise not. It's better than Kurara's Shovel Strike, but that doesn't say much. Her main niche is curing stun. She's the only character, and literally the only thing in this whole game that cures stun. And that's a pretty good niche to have. Like, I could, if I have like 300 voltage, I could ult on Hiroko, ult on Nozomi, ult on Hiroko, you know what I mean? Her passive is, I think if she moves or like does something near character, they get healed. Like I said, healing doesn't matter. Just die, bro. Just die, get the voltage. Who the fuck cares? She's really good on exploration. Because healing there actually matters. But I think she's better than Moko. I think just the niche of curing stun it's just a niche that I can't overlook, bro. It's a good niche. Let's talk about the Tsukumo twins. Let's talk about Kako Tsukumo. I think Kako is kind of a surprising pick. Because I did this tier list before. But that's where I wasn't like in the end game at that time. And I think Kako really shines in the end game. Kako. First of all, Kako has a +3 passive. +3 attack. It only triggers when she doesn't move, but spring traps get around that. So, fantastic. And I'm talking about a maxed out save file, like in the end. So I have 10 spring traps. I could position my sniper everywhere where I want. So a +3 attack. She has Hellfire, which is a pretty good AoE spell. It hits like a 3x3 in front of her. And even if you move, it does 4 damage. So it clears most elites. But it stuns her. Which is fine. I mean, you probably only want to use it once in a wave anyway. Her ult is kinda like Shoma's ult, but not as good because it fins. It starts off as a 3x3 and then fins into a like beam, but it's still very good. It's like a huge map clear. Also, her boss damage is surprisingly good. Let's say you fight Adamakyu. Hiroko's most damage possible is standing next to the enemy. Then Aramakyu counters that, and it's like very annoying for her. But Kako stands in a safe spot. Also, she can counter her attack debuff that she gets every time with an attack potion. She does like 11 damage, something like that. Her second spell has like a huge range and one-shots basically everything. I think it does 5 damage when she doesn't move, or 6? And her base shot, if she doesn't move, does 7? So does 4 naturally. I think she's just good. I don't think she's incredible. I think she's better than Gakuya. Which is surprisingly, because if you see me play, she's basically dead all the time. But that doesn't mean she's bad. I use her as like a desperation potion user into Last Stand, because her ult is good. Anyway, so she does her job. Ima has a +2 attack on his passive when Kako is low. Some fights you don't have Kako and Ima together, which is kind of awkward. His base spell hits for 3 damage. His aerial engagement also hits for 3 damage, I think. But has flight +2. He has like a push spell, which that spell doesn't fucking matter, bro. And he has this ult, which hits like a big kind of like square in front of him. I think he's very good against flying enemies. But he isn't anything exceptional. I think in the early game he's an absolute monster. But in the late game, he doesn't provide anything crazy. Yeah, his main issue is fighting against flying enemies. I think he's good against flying enemies. You give Kako a Desperation Potion. His aerial engagement does 5 damage. It has flight +2, so it does natural 7 damage. You give him an attack potion, 9 damage. You give him a attack boost, 10 damage. You give him the Unyielding Spirit, 12 damage. From a spell that's basically out of enemy counter range. But other than that, bro, I don't know, man. I think he's worse than Gaku. I think he goes here. Dude, this looks like Yugamu's the fucking wall, bro. Yugamu's the gatekeeper to S tier. I think that's kinda true, though. We only have 3 characters left. Okay, let's go. Kyoshika Magadori. Kyoshika? Her passive gives a +2 attack when an enemy is isolated, which sometimes can be kinda annoying. Her main spell is Jumonji Slash, which hits this V formation in front of her. It does very good damage. I think it does 3 damage, and then 5 if they're isolated or something. I don't know, man. I don't know how much damage it does. It does good damage, and also ignores armor. She has a similar spell to Moko Shooter. Single target attack that stuns her. I wish it wouldn't stun her. Maybe lower the damage by 1 and don't make it stun. She also has this, like, shape in front of her. Kinda like... Who has a similar spell like that? No one. Takemaru kinda. It's kinda like this U shape, but it's around her. Her ult is basically the same as Gaku's. But she does have a better passive than Gaku. She has better damage output, but I don't think she can stand with the top damage dealer. The top damage dealer just have something that elevates them. I think Kyoshika is better than Yugamu. But worse than Eito? Yeah. Eito might be high A instead of low S. I might be overrating Eito. But I left two very strong characters. I think I'm putting Eito in high A. For now, I can't think. Okay. I have two very strong characters left. Let's talk about Tsubasa. Tsubasa is a weird case. In the early game, she's a buff bot. But buffs... two of her spells are buffs. So in the late game, those two spells are absolute fucking garbage. And her main spell does 2 damage. 2 damage is pretty good. Like I said, 2 damage is a great breakpoint. And if you give her an attack potion, she does 4 damage. And if you give her Unyielding Spirit, she does 6 damage. She also has absolute cracked movement. Her movement is disgusting. Combined with her passive, where she doesn't get fatigue. It isn't an offense, like an attack buff passive, which I prefer, but oh my god, she just... I mean, I did a fight where I only used Tsubasa against New Gang and Turamtami. The whole, like, 3 rounds or whatever, 3 waves, I just used Tsubasa. She's just that fucking good at clearing out entire maps. It doesn't matter, left, right, top, bottom, bro. She just ready to roll. Ready when you are. And then her ult is this big T shape, which is very good too. They're gonna hear this engine roll. She does struggle against bosses though. But there are way more boss killer characters than there are map killer characters. Feel what I'm saying? Like for boss killer, I could use Takumi, Hiroko, Eito, Kyoshika, Kako, Ima. But for entire maps clearing, she's just uncontested, man. She's either below... Is she above Takumi? No. If she had any other spell than her 2 buff spells, bro, maybe. But her spell is correct. It does 2 damage in this huge area in front of her. Like, it's bigger than Omega Punch. Bro, this... I wonder if like someone looks at this and thinks this is how I feel about the characters and not combat. No, this is combat. Late game combat. I think Tsubasa's correct. And Ava. Ava's very correct. Ava's has a +2 attack passive, where she needs to move. Like, that doesn't matter. You just wiggle back and forth, and that's moving, bro. And her spells are very good. She has this insane line spell that ignores armor. She has this spell similar to Side Slash, but on an insane range that does bleed. And she has some Zaren sword, which is like the circle around her, which adds armor. All of her spells have flight +2. They deal natural 2 damage. 4 if you move, which is great. All of them have extra effects. She is very good. I think she clears maps a lot by herself. She's also very good against bosses. Against certain bosses, she's very good. Like Murvrum and like Dalshah and shit like that. Ima does more damage, technically. One more. But she has options of like armor, piercing, and bleed. And she can also hit bosses often and hit like an elite with it, you know? Know what I mean? Her like side slash spell does hits like this entire screen basically. I think she's here. I value Tsubasa more, I think. And that's it. The rest don't fight. Shion technically has a spell, Shion Bomb. It's worthless. Who the fuck cares? The rest don't fight. This is my combat tier list. Late game combat tier list, okay? I'll make a screenshot, because we're moving right on. We need to fucking hurry up, bro. I can't be sitting here for hours making tier lists. How do I have one tier list in 1.5 hours? Next song. Not this one. This is a good one. Let's put all those characters down again. We do the same tier list, but now we do the actual characters. Screw everything combat. Characters. I think I'm going from worst to best. I think the worst character in this game by far is Gaku. I hate this guy. He's unlikable. His character trait is that he's unlikable. He reminds me of Teru Teru from Danganronpa 2, which is an awful thing to say, because Teru Teru is scum of the earth. He does have some good features, but those don't really those get like overshadowed by his bad qualities. Like he puts on events, which is nice and shit, but I hate this guy. I think that might be the... No, Ima also DT. I think Ima's best moments were in the first 100 days when he got turned into Sea-Ray. He got a lot of character development in those first 100 days. And then lost them all because of a reset, you know? I think he's unlikable, he's low-key creepy. He's a psychopath who, like, takes people hostage sometimes, like Nozomi. He stabs Takemaru one time, bro. He's low-key a criminal, but still more likable than Gaku. Think about it. Next. Let me put... Shoma. Shoma's gimmick is kinda annoying. He is... I think it's very impressive how many self-deprecating lines I have in this game. Like, they're very creative with that. He doesn't just say, I'm garbage, you know? He says some fucked up shit about himself. But he's still a caring person. And has some good moments. I just wish he got more confidence in, like... He has some more confidence in some routes, but... His, like, friendship with Takemaru is really wholesome, but... I think that's about it. I'm gonna put... Kako. Kako... No. Nozomi. No. Nozomi B. I think Shoma's the only C tier. Shoma's a gatekeeper. Actually put Nigo in here, bro. Nigo? I mean, Nigo's alright. Nigo might be worse than Shoma. Okay. I just don't have a lot to say about Nigo. Nozomi, the only human in this group. Her, like, main mystery about Karua. It's like, okay. She is kinda annoying a lot of the times. She has like this weird... Let me find a good song, bro. Good song. She has like this weird positivity thing going on, but there's another character who does that better. Her friendship with Kurara is pretty good, but... yeah, I don't think that elevates her higher. Eito. I think I'm gonna put Eito over her. Eito... I hated this guy. Like, the first half of this game. But like, some routes, the Goodbye Eito route is pretty good. The multiple Eito route. And like the main second scenario with him. I think he's interesting. But still a dick. So I don't know where I would put him, bro. I think B is fine. I also would put Kako there. Kako, same as Ima, has some character development that gets lost because of time travel. Her main stuff about wanting to become a detective is cool, but it doesn't come up that often. And the main thing she does with Ima the whole game is have weird food tastes, and I don't know, man. You see it once or twice, it's funny, then you see it the fucking 50th time, and I just skip past that text box, you know? Who the fuck cares? But she's still cute. And the whole Kako-G thing is pretty good. Like seeing evil Kako, that's pretty good. Let's go A tier. No, I forgot Ava. Ava's definitely not an A tier character. Ava is... Put Ava in C, bro. I forgot about her. I don't know what to say. If it's the actual Ava, she goes higher, but this is brainwashed Ava. And I don't know, man. She's just like a robot at that point. Doesn't have like any character traits anymore. She's pretty good in the SF road. She curses a lot. But yeah. I think she's worth girl. I think I wanna put C-Ray in A. C-Ray? First of all, his theme is an absolute banger. Speaking of which, just fucking put it on, bro. He's a very cute mascot, I think. Even though he has, like, a visible brain. His, like, main idea of, like, being connected to humanity is pretty good. He does get annoying a lot of the time, so maybe he's a B tier character. Put him B. He's almost like an antagonist in some routes, so... I wanna put 80. I don't think I'm gonna rate the commanders, by the way. I don't know why they're here. Like, the only ones I could rate are Dal Shah, Alamakyu,
it. But whatever. A tier, Moko. Moko is Nozomi, but better. She's this overly positive character, but she has great moments. In the romance route, she's really good. There's like I don't think there are like bad Moko scenes, you know? She's just good all the time. She's not fantastic. A lot of her dialogue revolves around wrestling. If you're not into wrestling, I'm like kinda into wrestling. I'm like a casual enjoyer of wrestling. So I got some of her references. But yeah. I'm gonna put Shion next. Shion is a very interesting character because in the first 100 days he doesn't speak yet. Or like barely. So he's only a character in like in certain routes. But he's a pretty good character. I kinda wish I would know more about him, but that's like the story's fault and not his fault. But yeah, he's good to have. He's really good in the coming of age route, I think. Where he's called FB. And then I'm gonna put Darumi next. I think the problem with Darumi is the game shafted her, bro. She's really good in the routes where she is there. She's like she's like S tier in the Redstone route. In the killing game route, she's good, but other than that, in half of the routes, she's dead from the very beginning. Most of the time, she just makes like a Danganronpa joke. Can get annoying. But in those moments where she is relevant and you see the real side of her, she's really good. But those are so few, sadly. Okay, I think that's A tier. I think literally every character I have is S tier. Yeah. I'm gonna put Kurara at the bottom of S. In my last tier list I had her top of A. I think she's very good. The romance road, the coming of age road. She's like a fun character with her mask gimmick. Her sprites are really good. I love the one where the mask looks like a fucking school with blue flames and shit. She's very fun to be around, honestly. Her voice actress is really good. Every time she like rolls her R when she says presence, it's very good. And I put a comedic duo next to her, Kyoshika. Those two have to go together, bro. They're like a comedic duo. She's like the smart rich kid and she's like the not poor but dumb, oblivious girl. Kyoshika, I think, is a character that either you love, like me, or you hate. So I wonder if I look at other tier lists, if she's gonna be in D tier. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, because Kyoshika has a few gimmicks and that's it. First of all, she's a samurai that does like ninja quotes, like nin nin. She's dumb, especially at Marth. She is a pervert. And she's a huge weep. And that's all her character qualities. She does like Shonen Jump references like JoJo, like Dragon Ball, stuff like that. But I fucking love her. And every time she has like a scene with Kurara, it at least gets like a chuckle out of me, you know? I think they're good. No, I forgot someone in A tier. I think Takumi is not an S tier character. I think this is the thing that saddens me. Takumi has the most important role in this game. Protagonist. I think a game that has a great protagonist is like one of the best things ever. A great protagonist elevates a game to the next level, I think. That's why I hate silent protagonists. But Takumi, his obsession with Karua/Nozomi, in some routes he's a complete wimp. He like overthinks a lot. Every time he makes a decision, he wonders, was that the right decision? Shit like that. I wish he'd like man up in some more routes. In some routes he's very good. Like, I don't need to make your decisions all the time, Takumi, okay? I want him to say, fuck you guys, I'm making this choice, and I'm not gonna regret it. But that shit doesn't happen, bro. It only happens in, I can think of one route, where I thought, okay, Takumi, hell yeah, you're an S tier character. Otherwise, no. 2 routes. Next, I'm gonna put... We're getting to the best characters. It's either Hiroko or Veshness. Who do I like more? I actually think I like Veshness more than Hiroko. Hiroko is kinda like a second protagonist in this game, in a lot of routes. In the SF route, in the mystery route, shit like that. In the Gi timelines. But I don't know, man. Hiroko, in a lot of the second scenario timelines, she just doesn't do a whole lot. She's like this calculated girl. I like her a lot, but she was my favorite character during the halfway point of this game, but I think she fell off a bit. I'm gonna put Veshness here. I think I love Veshness. And that has to do 90% of the Veshness route. Because of the Veshness route. I love the Veshness route. I think Veshness' motivations, her way of thinking, her title even, Paragon of Hope, her standing in the story that she's like this hero who emerged when the humans attacked, basically. She does get a bit repetitive because every route uses her as a final boss, right? But I think she's still very good. I'm gonna put Yugamu next. Yugamu is a weird pick, but I think he's like the closest to a bro character. He's like the Ryuji to this Joker, you know? In the killing game route, he's like one of the main characters. His weird obsession with murder, I don't really give a fuck about. But unlike characters like Darumi, who only a character trait is killing game, right? His whole character isn't murder. He's like one of the smartest people in this entire group. He comes up with good insight, good commentary sometimes. He also is one of the 2 characters who moves the plot forward, because he's like the character who, when it comes to like biology or like chemicals and like stuff like that. Everything that's natural with the body, poison developing. Like, this game wouldn't move forward without him. He's like, I think his worst showing is the serial killer route where he pretends to be a killer. But other than that, I think in every route he's good. I also really like his character design. I think they cooked with that one. I like the earrings. I love the little eye patch. It does look a bit similar to Darumi hair-wise. They both have blue hair and have like black on top, where you kind of see that that it's dyed. But yes, he's good. Next I'm gonna put Takemaru. Takemaru is just a character made for me, I think. Takemaru is this delinquent looking guy. He's tall, he's buff, but in the end he's just a big softie who cares about his friends, and I don't know, I fucking love that character trope. He reminds me a lot of Nekomaru from Danganronpa 2, or Sakura from Danganronpa 1, or Gonta from Danganronpa V3. You can see that character trope in every Kodaka game, but I love it every time. I think Takemaru is great. Every time he does something bad, he knows he did something bad, and he says shit like, bro, I don't know how I could ever apologize for that. I'm so sorry. That's just my guy, bro. And the best character, I think, is Tsubasa. I think this game wouldn't exist without Tsubasa. She does so much in terms of story. Her and Yugamu move the plot forward. She does everything in terms of machines and inventions and shit like that. She's also an incredible character design. I thought her main gimmick would just be puking, but the longer the game goes on, the less like it becomes her like character trait. She's a very caring person. The routes where she's a bit more prevalent, honestly, she's prevalent in every route, I think. In every route she does something, but in the killing game route where you kinda date her, it's very cute. In the romance route where you learn more about why she's constantly puking and shit, it's really good. In the Veshness route, she's really good with Adamakyu. I think she's just the best character. I think this is my character tier list. I'm very happy with this one. And you can see it's top heavy. It's quite top heavy. I think the majority of this cast is just good. Aside from those two down here, I think everyone I like. Those two I dislike. Next. Good song. Next tier list. We're gonna rank the routes. That's my last tier list for today, and you will never see this game ever again on my Twitch. Let's rank the routes. Let's rank the routes on how I did them in that order. Obviously the first playthrough, Route 0. Frankly, I don't remember all the details on that route. That's the only route I don't have notes on. But I think some parts are really good in it. Like Ima and Kako's development are good in it. Some parts are horrible in it, like Moko doesn't even show up. I think it has a good ending with Eito as the final boss. But I think it's an 8-tier road. I think you can play this road never play this game again and be kinda satisfied. Kinda. You don't have a lot of knowledge about the lore, but other than that, I think it's pretty satisfying. Next, I did the killing game route first. Killing game. Actually, I have to take out my notepad again just to see which route. Don't worry, I hide it. Killing game route, I think, is a route that basically has one string but a lot of bad endings. Doing this route first was very confusing because of shit like the beast, sponsor, but it also has commune in it. Like, this is the route that commune is in the most, right? I think the bad endings in this one are very bad. Like, pick a choice and the route ends in like 2 seconds afterwards, you know? 2 text boxes. But I think the main route you go on this is very good. The whole Tsubasa dating. I can see the picture in front of me where they go like... Once we go to the satellite, Yugamu, Tsubasa, Darumi and Takumi become like a family. I think it's good. I think it's better than the first playthrough. I don't know if it's S tier. I haven't thought about this yet, where I put each. So I'm kinda just winging it, you know? I might move these around. Next I did Mystery Road. Where is it? Oh, the last one. Mystery Road. Mystery Road, I think it's worse than those two. It's an Uchikoshi route. A lot of it is just you solving cases, right? Those cases are kind of ridiculous. And the route really doesn't do anything until you get to the Kakuji part. The endings, if I remember, are like... There's one where everyone's together, but that only makes sense with the SF route. That's ending 100, I think. I just think it's not very satisfying. I would have put it B or C. I'll put a B for now. Next up I did Comedy Road. Oh boy, Comedy Road. Comedy Road has like a few paths that are pretty different. But I think the problem with Comedy Road is it drags on for way too long. Especially the fish one, bro. The fish one is so bad. I think it has some funny parts in it. Like the one where Nozomi gives you a 0 on your affection. That one's pretty good, but... Holy fuck, man. It's too long. It's too long. And you're gonna notice once we get to other routes that are shorter, I'm preferring those. I think shorter routes are in general better. Because I feel like the writer had a vision. Had like a scenario in their head. And wanted to tell a story, and they told it and got the fuck out, you know? No fluff, nothing. And I respect it. So comedy is C, I think. C for comedy. Next is slasher. Slasher. Slasher is like has two paths, if I remember correctly. One is the Takumi kills everyone, serial killer, and one is the zombie part. I think that one's goofy as hell, bro. I think the ending in this serial killer one is with Hiroko is good. But like the constant running away from the killer or the zombies, you know, the stealth section kinda, or you're just holding left. It's so goofy, man. It might be bottom of B, high C. I put it C for now. Next route I did was Vashna's route, and oh my god. I'm just gonna spoil it. This is my favorite route in the game. It's a route that's very short. It has two endings, if I believe. But it manages to pack in so much good dialogue, so many good character interactions in so few days that I just respect it. The main plot is that Vashna's and the commanders took over the school, and Takumi's constantly talking to Vashna's. You get to learn a lot about her. This is where my love for Vashna's grew. Also, that's the only time we see the commanders interact with each other. Like, you see that not every commander likes Vashna's. You see that not every commander likes each other. You also, basically, this route gave commanders a personality, you know? Like, Adamakyu is a real character in this route. And he's very good. He's very good with Tsubasa. You have a good scene with Tsubasa and Takemaru. I think it's just good from start to finish. The ending's great too. I love this route. Next up I did Cult of Takumi. Yeah, brother, what am I gonna say, man? This is the fan service route, basically. I think the ending, where you basically become God and go to the satellite and wipe out humanity, is pretty fun. But other than that, is it better than Slasher? I don't think it is better than Slasher. Is it better than comedy? For sure. I think I do it like this. I think that those scenes, some of those are just too much for me, bro. Just too much. Next song. This is my song, baby. This is my song. Next up, the route I did next was Box of Blessings. Yep, I'm just gonna say it. That's the worst route in the game. Box of Blessings has everything I hate. It has so many endings in it because there are so many meaningless choices in that one, where you end up repeating the same shit over and over. And none of the endings are good. And the Box of Blessings puzzles is a huge disappointment, because I thought it would lead to the commanders, the paragons. But no, it leads to, is this a prime number? It's horrible. This is like, I think, the only route I actually dislike. Actual torture playing that one. I hate Box of Blessings. Like doing the constant exploration, getting the boxes, and then you get a choice. Do you join the boys team or the girls team? Well, it doesn't fucking matter, but now I have to do it twice. Thank you. What fucking garbage, bro. Box of Calamity route. Now this is more interesting. Box of Calamity has origins about a Gi. Also has to do with Kakoji and stuff. I think it's better than Slasher, but worse than Mystery. Like this. Maybe like that. Conspiracy route. Yep, another red herring. They introduce an AI inside Nigo that's called Goto, I think. That's part of the anti-Exodus faction. And it's never brought up again afterwards. This is a lot of choices in this one. A lot of bad endings. Genuinely not that fun. Like here, bro. I think Conspiracy fucking sucks. Better than comedy. Romance route. Okay, hold up. Romance? This is where you date Kurara, Kyoshika, and Tsubasa while also having like Moko as your like counselor. I think this is a very good route. It gives a lot of character to those three main girls, also to Moko. Like, is Romance an S tier route? A tier, high A for now. I think it's good. It's a bit silly, but most of this game is a bit silly. SF route. I'm just gonna say it, Uchikoshi, you didn't cook with that one. Like, what the fuck is this? SF is so weird, bro. This is like the culmination of Box of Calamity, Mystery, Killing Game, Slasher. But it just doesn't have the sauce, I think. It has some good Hiruko moments, but everything like with the loop and shit, I'm just not about that, bro. I think it just raises more questions for me in the end than solving it, and a bit disappointing. Red Snom. Red Snom, I think is better than SF. I think Red Snom is also a bit silly, but the genuine character Darumi gets in this route is pretty good. The problem is it's only Darumi. The rest of the characters are like kinda pushed to the side with this one. Again, I wish Red Snom would have a bigger role, but whatever. Coming of Age. Coming of Age is fantastic. Coming of Age is basically like a anime episode or an anime season, bro. With a lot of tropes, but those are very fun. I'm a sucker for those kind of shit. In the end, when they turn to Super Saiyan, power of friendship to defeat Eito. Moko's fitness adventure over here. I think it just has a lot of fun moments with a very cool ending. I don't know, it's so cliche, this route, but I just kinda love it, bro. Casual route. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember this one. What was casual route? I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea what this is. Casual route. Do I have something in my notes for that? Frankly, I don't remember. This is like the one route where I could draw a complete blank, so it can't be that good, right? Probably better than those two. I don't remember. I'm sorry whoever wrote this. I'm gonna Google. Oh, this is like... Oh, this is where they played poker. This is where they played poker. That's basically all I remember from that, bro. Where have I written that? Oh, that's with the milk, bro. No, this one's fun actually, hold up. No, fuck it, it's better than SF. This is where Takumi is completely the Lulu, bro. No, fuck it, that's better than SF. Yeah, the poker was just really good, I think. The poker scenes were great. This is where I said this would make an insane anime episode. I'm gonna be honest, fuck it. Fuck you, Redstone. Fuck you, Redstone, for wasting my time. Darumi scenes are good, but... No, fuck it. The Darumi scenes are good. I like it this way, okay. Serial battles. I'm just gonna be honest, all you did is fight. This was mentally draining. Was there like anything in here? Was there like anything? Bro, trash. No, it did. This technically has the hardest battle in the game, which is two Vashnesses at once. Gotta respect that at least. Trash. Can't be as bad as Box of Blessings then. Multiple Atos. Multiple Atos, I think, is good. I think I overrate Killing Game a bit. But I think Multiple Atos goes in A. think it's over Red Snom. Multiple Atos is a fun one, I think. I think it's a bit dragged out. A lot of choices that, frankly, I don't care about. But the way Ato constantly is one step ahead over Takumi is pretty fun. I like the one where Takumi constantly commits suicide. Like 500 times to get Ato out of him. That one's a fun one. Ava Road. Ava Road is very similar to Veshna's Road, I think. Not as good. But this whole enemies to lovers tropes, I think, is apparently something I really like. I learned about it in this game. Also, this is like the route where I think Takumi is the best. Takumi has an issue with being decisive. And this is the route where I didn't have to make a choice and he was like, fuck it, Ava, I'm getting you out of this cage, we're going to your village. I was like, hell yeah. I don't need to make this choice, you make it, bro. Great. I think that... What were the endings? The one where impregnated Ava? That one's a bit goofy. That one is a bit goofy. The other one I don't remember. But I think there were only two. Next. Rebellion Road, I think is also great. Where you... There's some pretty bad endings in this one, but the one where you rebuild, basically, with Commune and the Rebellions. You, like, negotiate with humans, I think, is the ending. It has that one picture with Takumi and Commune, a bit more grown up. Every road that has, like, Commune in it. Automatic A tier, bro. Commune is a great character, underused. Goodbye Ato Road. This one's very good. Goodbye Ato, I think, is better than Rebellion. Goodbye Ato is a complete Ato focus route. And it's like basically the whole reason why he's in B tier here. And not in fucking D tier shit tier. This is where Ato pokes his eyes out. But then Takumi refuses him anyway. And he goes outside to the second to last by himself, blind. And he meets like Futurins. And basically dies in battle there, protecting the kids. I think it has some great insight on Ato. Isn't that long again? I think the shorter routes, Coming of Age is the longest one here, but that one goes to like day 60 or something, then it's over. I think, yeah, Goodbye Ato is great. Let's talk about Reset. Reset is the very end of the second scenario, where instead of destroying the intercept system, you basically let the missiles fly and escape in the pod and then come back down, you know? Because the satellite is gone. You escape with the pod, let the missiles destroy everything and then come back down. But C-Ray had like some brainwash shit in the infirmary, I think. So when they land, they willingly let themselves get brainwashed, so if they forget about it. And wake back up in the school, kinda like the beginning of the game. On this planet, on Futurum, and they have to rebuild it.
from scratch. Because there's no building left, no futurans, no humans, right? They're the only species left. They have to reproduce and everything. I think Reset is... I mean, Reset is like one day, you know? It's like very close to this. With a different ending. But I think this ending is good. I think it's a bit better than the first playthrough, yeah. I think it goes here. And the second scenario, I think, is great. This is basically the same as Reset Road, but a different ending. You go to the intercept system, or the defense room, fight the intercept system. Everyone dies. Nozomi inherits the wishes of everybody, is the last human alive. Humanity is gone. And she has to make peace with the futurans. But one line stuck with me in the ending from this one is Takumi said something along the lines of nobody wants to fight. We all just want peace. And it goes for the futurans too. That line kinda stuck with me. It's a great moment. And the ending is very good. Where she meets the futurans, Nozomi. They first are a bit defensive. Pick up a pipe to maybe beat her. But yeah, Nozomi remembers everything of Takumi. Puts her hand out. Signaling peace. And they accept her. That's like... very good, I think. I think second scenario is... probably better than Ava. Not as good as Coming of Age. Better than Coming of Age. I think this is it. I think this is my routes tier list. Very good one. I think every route was enjoyable except for Box of Blessings. And maybe serial battles. And maybe comedy. But yeah, that's it. That's it for me, that's it for this game. I'll never stream this game again. You'll never see it from me. It's a good game, play it if you have 180 hours of free time. I'll see you the next time I stream, which is likely gonna be SMT again. Back to the usual program. Peace.